Am I audible or am I still not audible?
Am I audible or am I still not audible?
I think now I am audible.
Am I audible?
Okay, so right now I think I am audible and the screen is visible. So it's 4:45. So let us start this today's lecture. So the other students can join in as we progress. So what we are going to study today is about, it has been given over here, that is the various questions that are coming in geography MCQ as geography MCQ question and answer in our UGC NET or in UPSC or other competitive exams. So particularly for this, for this today's lecture, what we are going to see is that it will be a bilingual, both Hindi and English, because I think some of our Hindi speaking friends may also join in. So over here, what we will be seeing the answers to past year questions. Now, for today's lecture, I have taken a single year. Okay, someone has written that the screen is visible but not clear. Is it so? Can you just let me know? Someone has written the screen is visible but not clear. Can anyone please write in the chat box? I think Sangha has written that the screen is visible but not clear. Can you please? Okay. So, what today we will be seeing is the answers to some past year questions, the explanation and reasoning of each of the correct options, explanation and discussion on the other options, the probable questions for the other options. I will try to clear your doubt also, and there will be a short test. And before starting this, I would like to request you that please try to, for each of the questions, please try to write in the chat box what you think will be the answers. Obviously, I will be discussing with you the answers. I will be telling you the answers, but what you think will be the answers, that would be a great help for you people only, because I am doing this for you, so this will be a great help for you people. Now, some of you might be thinking that what is the requirement of this thing? Because uh, UGC net set exams for geography, the question, the answer keys are also available. So answer keys are not very tough to get. But for this present lecture, I am not going to simply tell you the answers, that these are the answer. This is the answer for this question. This is the answer for that question. I will try to discuss each questions, because that kind of finding answers you will get number of, I have seen number of YouTube lectures, or I have seen number of such kind of, in Google I have seen number of them, where they just give the answers that such and such year, question number 1, this is the answer. But I am not going to do that. Apart from that, I am going to discuss why that answer and why not the other answers. So you will see what I am going to discuss the as I progress. Now, because of time constraint, I have taken for today's only 2014. I have taken 2014 June. I will try to complete like this each and every year. I will try to complete. Now again, because of time constraint, because I am planning to do this only for 1 hour, so for time constraint, I will be doing this only the first 15 questions. Don't worry, I will do the other questions again some other day. So this what today's for today's class, UGC Net Paper 3 MCQ type questions for 2014. Now this is the screenshot of what you will be expecting. These are some of the guidelines what they give, and the paper has got 75 questions with 2 marks each, with every questions to be compulsory a question. Now let us start with the various, for the first question. Now the first question says, lateral planation theory of pediment formation was proposed by. Now, you may be aware that there are various theories of cycles, or cycles of erosion. There are various such things. Now, lateral planation theory is one such. Then there is the cycle of erosion, etc. There are a number of theories. So you have to have an idea that who has given what. So lateral planation theory of pediment was proposed by, पेडिमेंट रचना के पार्श्व समतलन सिद्धांत किसके द्वारा प्रतिपादित किया गया है? Whether it was Lawson, Davis, Gilbert and McGee. Now you must know certain things. That is pediment. Before going to the exact answer, now you must know. Now the answer is this: G.K. Gilbert. Now why not these three? Why not Lawson or Davis or McGee? You must know that this is also a trick question, because pediment is generally found in semi-arid region, and Davis gave his theory was fluvial cycle of erosion. So Davis is directly ruled out. So let us see the reasons why. Now this is the reason Lawson's theory is known as the recession theory. Now you must know about these things when you go for your net preparation, because they can easily give that who gave the theory, recession theory, or who gave the sheet flood theory. So Lawson gave the recession theory, and in very brief, I will tell you what is recession theory, so that you know in case further in future you are given such kind of a question based upon recession theory, then you would be knowing that about this. So recession theory, in very short, I will tell you what that is, because it is not possible for all of you to go through each and every theories, each and every concept. So I have tried to give this in very brief. So Lawson recession theory says, which was given in 1950, that pediments, you know what are pediments? I have told that what are pediments in the earlier classes in LC King, etc. So these undulating, flat, concave shaped features are called pediments. So pediments are developed. See how the pediments are developing. This is the mountain front. So the mountain is going back, 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 and back. Because of why? Because of recession or because of weathering. And as it is going, see how the pediments are increasing. First it was till here, the mountain has gone back here, so it has increased to here, then here, till here, then here. So this is how the recession Lawson's recession theory is Lawson's recession theory says. तो लॉसन के रिसेशन थ्योरी के अनुसार पेडिमेंट का विकास, ये जो पेडिमेंट है, पेडिमेंट का विकास ये अपक्षय और अपर्दान क्रियाओं के वजह से होती है। और इस क्रिया के वजह से ये जो पर्वत के जो अग्रभाग है ये धीरे धीरे क्या होती है, ये धीरे धीरे पीछे घटती रहती है। और ये पीछे घटने के वजह से ये पेडिमेंट में ये बढ़ोतरी हम लोग देखने को मिलता है, पेडिमेंट बढ़ती जाती है। Next, Davis. As I told you, that Davis, his concept was called fluvial cycle of erosion. And pediment, this word pediment is found in arid and semi-arid region, so that Davis is ruled out. And Davis, according to Davis' concept, what he said, that it is in very brief, Davis had said that landform will pass, the change in the landform will be through what? Through youth, maturity and old stage. Youth, maturity and old stage. I won't go into details about this. And there is another trick thing. See, the last Davis cycle at last gives us penny plane, not a pediment. Penny plane is different and pediment is different. Pediment has been given by Lawson, it has been given by King, it has been given by also the end ramp concept of Pink. So they had given separate concepts. So penny plane is been given by Davis and not by not pediment. That word has not been used. So this is again a trick question. So you have to know what is the end result of each of these people. So penny plane. So this is what Davis theory. So Davis के अनुसार ये जो अपर्दान जो क्रिया है, ये अपर्दान चक्र जो है, ये 3 अवस्था में ये होती है। युवावस्था, प्रौढ़ावस्था और वृद्धावस्था में होती है। और लास्ट का जो अवस्था है, लास्ट का जो सिचुएशन है, उसको पिनी प्लेन बोलते हैं, ना कि पेडिमेंट बोलते हैं। G.K. Gilbert, he had given the theory of lateral planation theory, or this is also called as lateral erosion theory. So all of us knows, right, what is lateral erosion. What is lateral erosion? If I say that erosion is of 2 types, can any of you tell me that what are the 2 types? Can you please write in the chat box that what are the 2 types of erosion? Over here we are seeing one kind of erosion, and here we are having another form of erosion. Can any one of you please type it down? That would make this a more interesting lecture. Can any of one of you please write it down? What are the 2 types of erosion? One is lateral and the other one is what? Like this when it goes on. I am yet to get any answer. What are the 2 types of erosion? Okay, I will give you the answer. That is, one is vertical erosion and the other is lateral erosion. Vertical erosion and lateral erosion. So over here, see how this is formed. Up till here, it was here, and then it went back here, and then it has come back here. So how it has been formed? Because of sideways erosion or lateral erosion. And he also gave the concept of principle of least force. So if the question comes that who gave the principle of least force, you must be knowing that it is G.K. Gilbert who had given the principle of least force. And he, in this theory, we also have 2 kinds of forces. That is, in the principle of least force, there is the driving force and resisting force. So these are the 2 types of forces. So you must be clear in this concept that first of all, Gilbert had given the lateral erosion theory. He had also given the principle of least force, and in this principle, he had said that there are 2 more forces, the driving and resisting force. So these terms you must keep in mind while you prepare for your net, that they can give you question from these. Just like I said, that who gave the principle of least force, or in whose principle theory do we find the driving and resisting force. So these can be there. फिर और जी के गिलबर्ट के लैटरल प्लेनेशन थ्योरी के हिसाब से गिलबर्ट का ये कहना था कि पिडिमेंट का गठन, ये जो पिडिमेंट है, पिडिमेंट का गठन, इसका गठन कैसे होती है? जब पार्श्विक या पार्श्व अपक्षय या पार्श्व अपर्दान होती है, तो उसके लिए ये लैटरल प्लेनेशन होती है. Then we come to McGee, that is sheet flood. Okay, before proceeding to McGee's sheet flood, can you please again type in the chat box, because since long I have not seen any messages in chat box. So can you please confirm whether everything is all right or not? If you could please confirm whether everything is all right or not, whether I am audible, etc. Can you please confirm? Am I audible and is the screen visible? Okay. So the question was again this: lateral planation theory of pediment formation was proposed by. These are the options, and I have been discussing about the various options, and we have come till Gilbert. Now McGee, what he has said, he told about his concept was sheet flood theory. Again, I am repeating the same thing, that if not the whole theories, you must know who has given what. That you must know for your net exam. That is very much essential. Again, I am repeating the same thing, that it is not possible for you to know everything, each and everything of geography, particularly those who are from other background, who are will be sitting for the UPSC, etc., or other competitive exams. But you must know certain things, the basics. So, who has given what? So, according to W.J. McGee, he has given the sheet flood theory. So, that is not lateral planation theory. So, that is sheet flood theory. So, according to what the pediments are formed due to erosion of the weathered bedrock. So, the weathered bedrock by sheet floods because of torrential rainfall. So, you are seeing over here the pediments, as I had said before, that the pediment concept is related to what? It is related to semi-arid or arid region. So over here also you are finding example of that. Here also, and McGee's also. But in Davis we found that is fluvial cycle of erosion. So we are not finding any thing of plain. We are finding it peneplain. सो अगर मैगी के हिसाब से तो रेगिस्तान में जो मूसलधार जब बारिश होती है, जब वर्षा होती है, तो उसके लिए जो शीट फ्लड होती है, तो वो शीट फ्लड के कारण क्या होती है, इस प्रकार की अपरदान होती है, जो अपक्षय क्रिया होती है, तो उसके कारण पिडिमेंट के फॉर्मेशन होती है. Now over here, this is another type of question wherein you will be asked to match list 1 with list 2. So this is again 2014 June's question number 2. So the question is in your screen. You can see the question. I am not repeating the question. You can see the question. So over here in list 1, the names of the books have been given. List 2, the authors have been given. So again, तो यहाँ पर जो सूची दी गई है, पुस्तकें की सूची दी गई है और उसके साथ साथ लेखक की सूची दी गई है, तो और कोड्स दी हुई है. यू हैव बीन गिवन कोड्स, सो यू हैव टू मैच which comes under what. So for this again you have to know what is, who has given what. So here you can just go through the question. You can just go through the list 1 and list 2. If you know the answer, you can write it down. You can give it in the chat box. Okay. See, if you are so slow or something, then it will be a problem for you in your exam, because you won't have so much time to think in your exam. So you have to know these things, certain things. So even if it would really be great if you could please. Okay, the question is already in this screen. Match list 1 with list 2. You have to say that which of this is matching to what. So whether geomorphology, who is the author of geomorphology, whether it is Woolridge and Morgan, Strahler, Lobeck. So according to here is the code. So you have to say whether it is A, B, C, or D. So A means that small a, that is geomorphology, has three. That is A is written by Lobeck. B, essays in geomorphology, is written by Dury. C, physical geography, is written by Strahler. And D, outline of geomorphology, is written by Woolridge and Morgan. So these are the codes. So what do you think should be the correct answer? If any of one could please write it. You just have to write A, B, C, and D. See, won't be given any negative marks. Or my students who have joined here, I won't be deducting your marks in your main exam. So don't worry. Just give whatever you think. You just write it A, B, C, D, whatever. Someone has written, oh, I see. So someone has written that the screen is not changing. It is in the first slide, is it? Okay, okay. I'll just stop sharing, and if only I could have this thing before, then I think now it is it visible? Okay, so the screen had frozen. I don't know why this problem with the screen is coming up. I have gone back to the previous slide. I think right now it is okay. So I think it is okay right now. Are you able to see the screen? Okay, so these are some software errors, I think. So I will just explain this thing again, what I have told you, or no need to explain. You can just go through what I have said about Lawson. So this was told. This was said. I think if I just increase the screen, if I make it full screen, if I make it in the slideshow version, then there is problem with the screen. So I will keep it in this small version. In this kind of version, I can just increase this size over here, and so I will just repeat this what I was told. So the question over here is, lateral planation theory of pediment formation was proposed by. So these are the four options that have been given, and I have already told you that the correct. So I guess things are all right now. So if I am audible and the screen is visible and this thing is all the slides are all moving. Great. I hope things remain like this. So these were the options that were given, and I had told you the reason as to this. So if you could please uh, go through the reasons, go through the various reasons. I don't know whether the slide is moving or not again, or it has frozen, because it seems yes, it has come now. It takes around 20 seconds from the actual and to what is coming in the this thing software. So these are the options that I had given, not the options, the details that I had given. That is Lawson's recession theory, Davis cycle of erosion, Gilbert's lateral planation theory, and McGee's sheet flood theory. And since I have already told you these things before, so if you want me to repeat, you can write it down. And if you don't want to repeat, I can go to the next slide. So if you want me to repeat what was said over here, I will definitely do that. And if you don't want to me to do that, then I will go to the next slide. So if any of you can write down in the chat box if you want me to repeat, or I can go to the next slide. Do you want me to repeat, or I can go to the next slide? Please type here. Any of you, Dorothy or Sangha, any of you, please tell me whether you want me to repeat, or I can go to the next slide. Okay, next slide. Good. So this is the next slide. It is taking some moment to load. So in the next slide, in the next slide, this is a this is a list has been given. So list 1 with list 2. So list 1 gives the names of the books, and the list 2 are the authors' names. So like I was saying you, that you have to match list 1 with list 2. Now over here, the if you know the answer, well, the answer will be A. A means geomorphology, written by Lobeck. Essays in geomorphology, written by Dury. Physical geography has been written by, that is C. Strahler. An outline of geomorphology, written by, who is left, Woolridge and Morgan. There is nothing to explain over here. So this that will be, answer will be A. Next we come to, it is taking some time to load onto the next slides. So the next is which of the following is strongly presumptive fault line scarps? Whether it is superimposed drainage, poor correlation between rocks resistance and topographic forms, frequent severe earthquakes, actual fault plane identified along a scarp. So for this, you need to know what is a fault scarp and what is a fault line scarp. There's a difference between fault scarp and fault line scarp. In a fault scarp, one part of the land, it goes down with respect to other, or any one part moves up in respect to the other, and there is no erosion involved. In a fault line scarp, what happens? It is an erosional landform. It is an erosional landform which is formed because of the when the weaker rocks gets eroded. When the weaker rocks get eroded, that time we have a fault line scarp. So in a fault line scarp, one of the most important patterns, drainage pattern of a fault line scarp is superimposed drainage pattern. And this you need to understand. So if you just go to the previous slide, then you will see that there are a lot of problems with regarding the real time. In real time, when I have already come to the next slide, it is actually showing some other slide. So there is a lot of problem in real time. So over here, what we are seeing that this particular land, which was earlier maybe hard rock, this is hard rock, this is soft rock. This particular land, which is now this is soft rock, when this soft rock comes in connection with this hard rock because of weathering, because of faulting, sorry, not because of weathering, when this soft rock comes in contact with this hard rock because of faulting, we call that fault line scarp, and here superimposed drainage system is the characteristic. And in superimposed drainage system, we have got various kinds of drainage systems. For example, waterfalls. So waterfalls means when water will be falling, waterfall or nick points, when water will be falling from top area, from a heighted area to the downward portion. So that time we have waterfalls, or we can have the various kinds of other characteristics, various other characteristics which we can have, like cross cutting of streams, that is cross cutting relationships. We can have discordant streams. You can go through the details. I won't go through the details right now. I'm just telling you the various characteristics that occurs. Stream capture, discordant streams means that when the streams which is flowing in a certain direction starts flowing in the opposite direction. So these are the various characteristics which are resulted which results due to superimposed drainage pattern, and this superimposed drainage pattern is a result of the fault line scarps. So you must know, if a question comes, that out of the various characteristics that are being shown in the screen, which, supposing they take any one characteristics and then they say which characteristics is a result of the superimposed drainage pattern, then you must be able to say that the answer, because I have already told you the answer, I have already shown you in the slide. Now let us come to the next slide. The next slide is paternoster lakes are features typical of what? Are they features typical of lava plains, or they are of piedmonts or deserts or glacial troughs? So where do we find paternoster lakes? और हिंदी में क्वेश्चन ये दी हुई है कि इसकी विशेषताएं झीलमाला ठेठ रूप से इसकी विशेषताएं क्या है? लावा मैदान, गिरिपथ, मरुस्थल, हिमानी द्रोणिका. So for this you must know that what is a paternoster lake. It is very much important to know that before answering this question, you must know that what is a paternoster lake. So this is a paternoster lake. So paternoster lake is what you, as you can see over here, that here there is one lake, then over here another, then here another, then here another. There are various barricades. There are various barricades over here. So here there is one body of water, then there is a barricade, then there is another body of water, then there is a barricade, then there is another body of water. So there are various bodies of water. So Paternoster Lake is what? It is a series of glacial lakes connected by a single stream or a braided stream system. तो ये पैटर्नोस्टर लेक क्या है? ये एकल धारा या गुम्फित जो धारा प्रणाली द्वारा ये होती है, और ये हिमनद झीलों की श्रृंखला है. तो हिमनद, बिकॉज इट इज ग्लेशियल लेक, सो दैट इज वाई द आंसर विल बी डी, दैट इज ग्लेशियल ट्रफ्स. द आंसर विल बी ग्लेशियल ट्रफ्स. Yes, someone has already given the answer. Yes, you are right. The answer is glacial trough. Now, you must also know that from where this paternoster word has come. The paternoster is a Latin word. The English of this is called the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer. And in the Lord's Prayer, or from the in the Lord's Prayer, the word is, the opening of the Lord's Prayer is called Our Father. तो ये पैटर्नोस्टर ये एक लैटिन वर्ड से भी आई हुई है, और ये लैटिन वर्ड कहाँ से ली गई है? जो प्रभु के प्रार्थना, क्रिश्चियन के प्रभु के प्रार्थना से ली गई है, और जिसका पहले जो दो शब्द है, हे मेरे प्रभु, हे मेरे पिता, तो उससे ली हुई है. फादर, द वर्ड फादर मीन्स in Latin pater. So from that it's paternoster. And why such name? Because if you see over here, this resembles like the rosary beads, which is used for prayers. So just find out what are rosary beads. So this are like rosary beads. So that is how the names are coming. So I won't. I have already explained. So this is the thing. Now the next question is in your screen. So match list 1 with list 2. Match list 1 with list 2. So what are the various list? You can see over here, list 1 is the theories of cavern formation, and list 2 are the scholars who had given this. So there is not much to be explained over here. You can directly go to the answer, and the answer is A, that is two cycle theory. The cycle of two cycle theory was given by Davis. Then B, water table theory was given by Swinnerton, etc. So you can just go through the details. So the next question, it has still not come in the YouTube. Yes, it has come. Which one of the following processes is typical to glacial erosion? Now, if anyone can give me the answer, निम्नलिखित में से कौन सी प्रक्रिया हिमीय अपर्दन के संदर्भ में विशेष स्थान रखती है? If anyone can give me the answer. See, over here, hydraulic action can never be the answer, because hydraulic action is related to river. Deflation cannot be the answer, because deflation is related to aeolian land surface. Corrosion cannot be the answer, because corrosion is related to sea waves. So the only one left is plucking. So plucking, yeah, utpatan, this is the answer to this question. that is glacial erosion. Which one is the result of glacial erosion? Now I have come to the next question. So these are the two statements. One is labeled as assertion and the other is labeled as reason. So the assertion is what deep chemical decay of rock is one of the outstanding features of humid tropical regions. And what are the reasons? That is the intensity of chemical weathering depends to a large degree upon an abundance of water and high temperature. So what could be the possible answer? See, in humid tropical regions, in humid tropical regions, what we find too much of water and also high temperature. For chemical decay to occur, it requires very good amount of water. It also requires very high temperature. So that means assertion A is right. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Next, we have this. Crickmay, while disagreeing with Davis, supplanted peneplain with the term what? Peneplain, panplain, H-plane or structural plane. सो डेविस के साथ असहमत होते समय क्रिकमे ने किस शब्द के पिनीप्लेन के जगह में कौन सा वर्ड उन्होंने यूज किए? पीडीप्लेन, पैनप्लेन, एच प्लेन और स्ट्रक्चरल प्लेन. So the correct answer is B, that is panplane. Now, why B and why not the others? So let us see about this again. So the correct answer is panplane. So I hope again, if again I can be confirmed whether everything is all right or not. If again I can be confirmed whether everything is all right or not. Okay. So let us see that why panplane and why not the others. Because plane, this concept was given by L.C. King, Lester Charles King, in his book. This is the book's name. So plane का जो थ्योरी है ये लेस्टर चार्ल्स किंग द्वारा दी गई थी. तो पैन प्लेन नहीं दी गई थी. तो क्वेश्चन क्या था कि सीजे क्रिक में कौन सा वर्ड यूज किए थे? तो प्लेन, पैन प्लेन, एच प्लेन या स्ट्रक्चरल प्लेन? तो प्लेन ऑब्वियसली नॉट, बिकॉज प्लेन was given by Lester Charles King. Now, the concept of panplanation was given by Crickmay in 1933. So, what is panplane? You must know that what is panplane. Panplane means that this is an almost flat land, as you can see over here. This is an almost flat land, which is created by the joining together of what? Of the various floodplains. And why? Because of the lateral erosion of the rivers. So let me just explain you this one. As you are seeing in this top right diagram, you can see that this is a river valley This is a land wherein you can see various rivers running through it. And you can also see what? Some river valleys through it. In B, what you are seeing, lateral erosion has occurred. In each of this, lateral erosion has occurred. Because of lateral erosion, what has happened? The valleys have enlarged. You can see the valleys over here the valleys have enlarged. And over here, what you are seeing, the valleys over here, whatever it was enlarged, now they will join together. The various valleys will join together. How? When the water divide between these will move away, will go, then we will find a huge area of a flat area, flat land. तो क्रिकमे के अनुसार ये जब मध्यवर्ती विभाजन या वाटर डिवाइड इसमें जब अपर्दान होती है या शरण होती है, ये किस तरह के क्षय होती है यहाँ पर, ये क्या देख रहे हैं, पार्श्व क्षय ज्यादा देख रहे हैं, पार्श्व क्षय या लैटरल इरोशन देख रहे हैं। किससे होती है? ये नदी द्वारा पार्श्व कटाव के कारण ये एक से अधिक जब फ्लड प्लेन्स आपस में जब जुड़ जाती है तो उसके कारण क्या होती है, ये एक लगभग समतल भूमि होती है, निर्मित होती है, और इस समतल भूमि को हम लोग पैन प्लेन ये बोलते हैं। नेक्स्ट, एच प्लेन। व्हाट इज एच प्लेन? नाउ एच प्लेन, दिस इज एन एच प्लेन एज यू आर सीइंग ओवर हियर. H plane occurs when there is erosion of the bedrock. You are seeing over here bedrock. So when there is weathering of the bedrock, then you will find H plane. And but if you see it more clearly, the fifth diagram, H plane is not actually a plain land. You are seeing that it has actually a nice relief is here. So this is not actually a plain land. तो एच प्लेन क्या है? तो एच प्लेन मतलब ये मैदानी भाग जब बेड रॉक में काफी अपक्षय होती है, ये उस मैदानी भाग का एक भाग है जब बेड रॉक में काफी अपक्षय होती है। और ये जनरली ये देखा गया है कि ये पूरी तरह से ये सपाट भूमि नहीं होती है, क्योंकि अपक्षय बेड रॉक में जो अपक्षय है समान रूप से नहीं होती है। And then we come to structural planes. What is structural planes? They may be caused due to endogenetic forces of uplift or subsidence of the seafloor or continental shelf. So you see all these, all the three over here, they are the result of exogenetic forces of weathering, erosion, whatever. But except structural planes are the result of endogenetic forces. So this is another trick question. So structural plane can never be formed because of exogenetic forces of weathering or erosion, etc. It is an endogenetic force when a huge mass of land is either uplifted or subsided, uplifted from the seafloor or subsided to the continental shelf. So the examples are the Great Plains of USA, Coromandel Plains of India. Because if you have an idea of the Great Plains, that is a huge area of land. The Great Plains are huge areas of land. That huge areas of land cannot be made only because of exogenetic forces. That has to be made by endogenetic forces. So this is again a trick question. So structural planes are made up of endogenetic forces. तो पृथ्वी के जो अंतर्जनित जो बल है, इसके कारण क्या होती है, समुद्र तल या महाद्वीप के शेल्फ में उत्थान या पतन होती है। तो इसके वजह से इस प्रकार की मैदान निर्मित होती है जिसको स्ट्रक्चरल प्लेन बोलते हैं। So I hope the various planes are clear to you, the PD plane or the panplanation or the H plane or the structural plane. If there is any problem, you can type it down, or else I would move to the next slide. Okay, so here you are seeing certain. What is the question? Question is, what is the correct sequence of the cloud types in a warm front away from its trailing edge? अपने पुछल्ले किनारे से दूर उष्ण वातावरण में मेघ प्रकारों का सही अनुक्रम क्या है? So for this, you need to know about the warm front, you need to know about the warm fronts, about the cold fronts, and about the various clouds that are formed. So here you can see as the warm air comes in contact with the cold air, then what happens? Warm air rides over the cold air. जब उष्ण हवा या गर्म हवा जब ठंडी हवा के संस्पर्श में आती है, तो ये जो उष्ण वाताग्रह है, इसके इसके अलावा क्या होती है, ये जो वार्म एयर जो है, उष्ण हवा ये ऊपर की तरफ उठ जाती है, और जैसे ये ऊपर की तरफ उठ जाती है, एज द वार्म एयर राइजेस अबव, इट क्रिएट्स क्लाउड्स. सो दिस इज द प्रॉपर सीक्वेंस. तो ये प्रॉपर सीक्वेंस है क्लाउड्स का कि पहले निम्बोस्ट्रेटस, then altostratus, cirrostratus, and then cirrus. This is the correct sequence. Nimbostratus, altostratus, cirrostratus, and then cirrus. So, if I go back to here, if I go back to the question, this is the question. It is taking time to load in YouTube. So if I go back to this question, then you can see that the correct sequence is what? The correct sequence is this. That is number D. That is nimbostratus, altostratus, cirrostratus, and cirrus. Which has been given over here. Now the next question is this. Next question is, westerlies are examples of what? Macro atmospheric motion, tornadoes, microscale atmospheric motion, or gusts of wind. Please read the question over here. Now, what will be the correct answer? To know the correct answer, you have to know what are westerlies. You must know what are westerlies. So, what are westerlies? So, this over here in the screen, you have been given that what are westerlies. Westerlies are what? Prevailing winds that blow from the west at mid latitude, from where? From the 30° north to 60° north latitude. This is westerlies. तो westerlies क्या है? ये भूमंडलीय या स्थायी या प्रचलित पवन है. So when you in this westerlies, this is not a localized affair that it is occurring only in a certain part of India or certain part of somewhere in the world. This is not a localized affair. What it is, in the entire 30° north to 60° north, you are seeing in this entire zone, you are seeing movement of air. That is why, if that is the reason, if that is the scene, so that means this is not a simple gust of air. It is not a micro scale, not a small scale atmospheric motion. It is not a tornado, because tornado also occurs in some localized region. So what it is It is a macro atmospheric motion. It is a macro atmospheric motion because this occurs throughout the atmosphere. We are seeing this throughout the atmosphere. So this is macro atmospheric motion. Any doubt? Is there any doubt? Okay, so let us come to the next. Match the following list. List 1 says temperature falls with height, reflects radio waves back to Earth, contains most of the ozone, fall in temperature stops. So, what is the list to? See, where do we find these things? So, temperature falls with height. ऊंचाई के साथ तापमान कहाँ गिरता है? When we have, these are the various levels of the atmosphere. So, ऊंचाई के साथ या temperature falls with height. Where do we find temperature falls with height? We find that in troposphere, where the radio waves are reflected back to the earth. Ions are required for reflecting the radio waves back to the earth. That is ionosphere. So that means A is 4, B is what? 1, B is 1, C is what? C is 2, contains most of the ozone. So that is the correct answer is C, code C. Correct answer is code C. I am not getting any feedback from my students at Mizoram University. So, are you people still with me? My students at Mizoram University, I am not getting any questions, any comments from you people. So, are you still with me? Please type yes if you are there or no if you are not there. Oh, okay, good. So, as I have said, that for question number 11, the reason it will be C because, as I told, the temperature falls with height will be in troposphere, and reflection of the radio waves occurs because of the ions in ionosphere, and ozone is generally found in stratosphere, and fall in temperature stops at the tropopause because after tropopause what happens, the temperature actually rises with height. So you must know these things that at troposphere what happens? Temperature falls with height. Then after troposphere what comes? The tropopause comes where the temperature fall stops. After troposphere what is there? The stratosphere where the maximum ozone is there. That is why we have the ozonosphere there. After stratosphere what we have? What sphere? That is the ionosphere. So if you know this, then you will be able to answer this question. Let us come to the next question. Again, it is taking time to upload in YouTube, although I have already there in the next question, but it is taking time to upload here. So the next question is, if the elevation of the sun declines, the albedo will what? Will it decline? Will it increase? Will it remain the same? Whether there will be no change? If the elevation of the sun declines, the albedo will decline, increase, remain the same, or there won't be any change. So if any one of you, if you can please write the whatever you think will be the answer, whether it will be A, B, C, or D. With elevation, if the elevation of the sun declines, the albedo will what? Okay, someone has written D. Well, the answer will be B. It will increase. It will increase. So, why should it increase? So, for that, you must know what is albedo. It is very important to know that what is albedo. So albedo is what, although I am already in the next slide, but in YouTube it is still showing the previous slide. So what is albedo? Albedo is that portion of the sea from here, from the sun, what is coming? The solar energy is coming, right? So while the solar energy is coming, as you are seeing from this diagram, a part of it is reflected by the atmosphere, a part of it is reflected by the various clouds, and a part of it which strikes the earth's surface is reflected by the earth's surface. So albedo is that part of the solar energy which is reflected by the earth's surface back to the space. So albedo is that part of the solar energy which is reflected back to the space by what? By the earth's surface, not by the atmosphere, not by the clouds. तो एल्बिडो पृथ्वी के सतह से, पृथ्वी के जो सरफेस है, पृथ्वी के सतह से वापस अंतरिक्ष में परिवर्तित सौर ऊर्जा का हिस्सा है. तो ये कौन सा सतह से? पृथ्वी के सतह से, पृथ्वी भूमि के सतह से जो परिवर्तित हो रही है उसको ही हम लोग एल्बिडो बोलते हैं. So this is generally it is seen that at 40 degree solar elevation albedo is 0.1. When the solar elevation is decreasing at 10 degree, albedo is increasing to 0.25. So in short, you can say that what you can say that there is a negative relationship between the sun's elevation and the albedo. So when there is a negative relationship between the sun's elevation and albedo, so the answer will be answer B. That is, if the elevation of the sun declines, the albedo will what? Increase, because there is a negative relationship. You just have to remember these two things. First, you have to remember what is albedo, because suppose there is a question that albedo is reflected by the cloud, it is reflected by the atmosphere, it is reflected by the earth surface, it is reflected by the water surface, then you must be able to answer that no, albedo is reflected by the earth surface. And the other thing that you need to remember is that there is a negative relationship between sun's elevation and albedo. So if sun is declining, sun's elevation is declining, albedo will increase. So just this much, if you remember, that is enough. If you just remember this much. So let us now come to the let us now come to the next question, and it has not yet come in the screen. Has it come to the screen yet? Let me check. Well, the next 13 question is, seasonal contrast in pressure between land and sea gives rise to monsoon or westerly winds or land and sea breezes or trade winds. भूमि तथा समुद्र के बीच दबाव में मौसमी अंतर क्या उत्पन्न करती है? मानसून, पछुआ हवाएं, भूमि तथा सागर समीप, व्यापारिक पवन. Can any one of you just think what can it be for 13? What can it, the answer be? Well, you are right. You are right. The answer is A. That is monsoon. Very good. The answer is A. That is monsoon. Now let us just see why not the others. Because if you see why not the others, then only you will be able to understand why A. So why not the others? See, because when there is a trade winds and westerly winds are planetary winds. ट्रेड विंड या वेस्टर्ली विंड्स को हम लोग भूमंडलीय या स्थायी या प्रचलित पवन या ग्रहीय पवन बोलते हैं. दैट मीन्स वेस्टर्ली विंड्स एंड ट्रेड विंड्स, दे आर ब्लोइंग ऑल थ्रू आउट, एवरी टाइम दे आर ब्लोइंग. तो ये दो जो है वेस्टर्ली विंड और ट्रेड विंड, ये हर वक्त ये बह रही है क्योंकि ये प्रचलित हवा है, ये भूमंडलीय किंवा स्थायी हवा है. क्योंकि ये स्थायी हवा है, ये सीजनल नहीं है. ये कोई एक मौसम में नहीं हो रही है, ये स्थायी हवा है. So because they are permanent winds, prevailing winds, so they are not seasonal winds. So you can obviously cross check. You can obviously say no to westerly winds and trade winds because they are planetary winds. They are blowing throughout the time. They are blowing always, and they are blowing. I had already shown you between 30 westerly winds is flowing between 30 to 60 degree, and trade winds they are blowing in the tropical zone. So it is not because of land and sea. So you can put these two off. Next comes land and sea breeze. Why not land and sea breeze? Because land and sea breeze they are diurnal winds. They blow, land is blowing during the day, and sea breeze they are blowing during the night. So they are diurnal wind. क्योंकि भूमि तथा सागरीय जो ब्रीज होती है, ये प्रतिदिन ये बह रही है. दिन में ये दो टाइम में बह रही है. ये दिन में बह रही है और ये रात में ये बह रही है. तो ये सीजनल हम लोग नहीं बोल सकते. ये प्रतिदिन ये बह रही है, रात को भी बह रही है, दिन में भी बह रही है. सो व्हाट इज लेफ्ट इज मानसून. कौन सा रह जाती है? मानसून रह जाती है. एंड इफ वी नो अबाउट मानसून, वी डोंट हैव मानसून ड्यूरिंग द एंटायर ईयर. डू वी गेट मानसून ड्यूरिंग द एंटायर ईयर? वी डोंट. Like for example in Mizoram, here we are getting monsoon during what? Generally during the month of May to we get till the month of September. Though this year we have still not received the monsoons yet, although we are getting rains, but still not getting the monsoon. So monsoon is not a daily wind. Monsoon is not a wind which is blowing throughout any particular region, that is throughout the year. It is not blowing that at a particular time, and that too it blows because of what? Because of the difference of pressure between land and sea. तो फॉर दिस यू नीड टू नो द थ्योरीज ऑफ मानसून. तो इसके लिए आपको मानसून कैसे फॉर्म हो रही है, इसके थ्योरीज जानना बहुत जरूरी है. मानसून थ्योरीज अगर आप जानोगे तो आपको इसका आंसर जो है ये आपको मिल जाएगा. सो वी हैव कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, एंड अगेन it is taking time to load. Well, it has loaded. So the next question is, this jerkness model is related to what? It is related to anticyclone, related to the mid-latitude cyclones, or the origin of tropical cyclones, or the origin of monsoon. So this is the question, and may I have the answer? Even if it is wrong, no problem, but please write the answer. What do you think should be the correct answer? I have an answer C. So anyone else, can you attempt? Silo, you are right. It is origin of mid-latitude cyclones. And why? We have to know why. That is the main reason I am doing this class, that we have to know why. If it is right, why it is right. If it is wrong, why it is wrong. See, because anticyclone, this was first discovered by Sir Francis Galton. Well, the screen has not yet come. Now I think the screen has come. So the anticyclone किसने डिस्कवर किया था? सर फ्रांसिस गैल्टन ने. And the mid-latitudinal cyclones, these are also called as the polar front theory. You should know the name, the other name. So they can also give that who gave the polar front theory. So you must know that the mid-latitudinal cyclones, or this is also known as the temperate cyclones, they were given by Wilhelm Jerknes, who was a Norwegian meteorologist. तो विलियम जर्कनेस ने ये थ्योरी इन्होंने दिया है. एंड विलियम फेरेल, he gave his ideas on tropical cyclones. What he had given, it is given in this slide. And if you see monsoon, the origin of monsoons, we have various theories on origin of monsoon. मॉनसून कैसे हो रही है इसके बहुत सारे थ्योरी है, जिसको हम लोग दो भाग में मेनली भाग कर सकते हैं। एक है क्लासिकल थ्योरी और एक है मॉडर्न थ्योरी। सो और मॉडर्न थ्योरी में की जेट स्ट्रीम थ्योरी भी मॉडर्न थ्योरी में आ रही है, कोटेश्वरम थ्योरी मॉडर्न थ्योरी में आ रही है। तो ओरिजिन ऑफ मॉनसून, दिस हैज गॉट अ नंबर ऑफ थ्योरीज। So those theories can be divided into two, that is classical theory and modern theory. And jet stream theory, Koteshwaran theory comes under modern theory. So if you know this detail, that who has given what, because generally this is very common question, and obviously you will be getting questions in climatology. So if you know that who has given what, then whether or not they give a question from tropical cyclone, they give question from monsoon, you will be able to answer when you know who has given what. So that is more important. Let us come to the next slide. Again, waiting for YouTube to load this slide. It seems it is still not loaded. Okay, so this will be our last question for today's session. I won't go very into lengthy sessions. So maybe if I go into lengthy sessions, then you will be forgetting. So it is better that I do only 15 questions per day. Then in that way, or every Saturday maybe. So in that way, you will be able to. I will be able to tell you in details about each of these questions, so that any question that may come from any of these that have been discussed, you will be able to know when I discuss each of this in detail. So this is the last question, and the last question is, which one of the following is not correct? So what are the options given? So the options given are: cold front is marked with triangular spikes, warm front is marked with semicircles, a fast advancing warm front can cause violent lifting, the tornadoes develop along the squall line. These are the four options. हिंदी में आप ऑप्शन पढ़ लो, क्वेश्चन पढ़ लो कि निम्नलिखित में से कौन सा सही नहीं है. Now can I have the answer for this? Some more answers. I have got one answer, that is B. Some more answers. Silo has said A. Any more answers? Any more? You won't be negatively marked, don't worry. So the others, the others, no one is answering, it seems. Well, the answer is neither A nor B. The answer is C. A fast advancing warm front can cause violent uplifting. This is the answer. This is not correct. It is said that which one of the following is not correct. So, this is not correct. A fast advancing warm front can cause violent uplifting. Let us now see the reasons why this is not correct. Why it is, then what should it be? Let it load first, the next slide. If it doesn't load, then it becomes problem for me. Okay, so it has loaded. See, in weather map, when you have to show cold front, when you need to show cold front, that is shown by this symbol, blue triangles or spikes. That means the first one is correct. In weather map, when you want to show warm front, that is shown by this solid red line with red filled like this semicircles along it. So that means the second option is also correct. In the third option, when two air masses, the air warm air mass and the cold air mass meets each other, then what happens? Warm air, it slowly replaces the cold air. Slowly it rides above the cold air. And what it had said previously, that there is violent uplifting. So there is no violent uplifting, slowly it gets replaced. तो क्वेश्चन क्या था कि प्रचंड उत्थापन होती है कि नहीं, प्रचंड उत्थापन नहीं होती है, धीरे से जो गर्म वायु है वो शीतल वायु के ऊपर धीरे से उत्थापित होती है। इसीलिए इसको ये थर्ड वाला जो ऑप्शन है ये गलत है, क्योंकि ये धीरे से उत्थापित होती है, ना कि ये प्रचंड रूप से उत्थापित होती है। सो द थर्ड पॉइंट इज नॉट राइट। नाउ the last one is what? A squall line. You must know what is a squall line. Squall line क्या है? Squall line जो कि हिंदी में क्या कहा गया है, ये झंझा पंक्ति. So ये squall line, this is a squall line. So a squall line, as you can see over here, the squall line is what? Here this is a squall line along which, see this diagram. So along this squall line what we find thunderstorms. And with thunderstorms, what we find? We find tornadoes. So these red zones are showing what? They are showing tornadoes. The red zones are showing thunderstorms. And generally, not all thunderstorms, but many thunderstorms, they are associated with tornadoes also. So that means, if that is the case, that means the squall lines are associated with tornadoes. So that means the last option is right. तो अगर हम लोग हिंदी में ये जो झंझा पंक्ति है, ये झंझा पंक्ति है, ये झंझा पंक्ति में हम लोग क्या देखते हैं? ये झंझा पंक्ति में हम लोग देखते हैं ये टोर्नेडो देखते हैं, या आंधी तूफान देखते हैं। और ये जो आंधी तूफान है इसके साथ टोर्नेडो ये बवंडर, ये आंधी तूफान के साथ ये लिंक्ड है। तो इसीलिए हम ये बोल सकते हैं कि ये जो लास्ट वाला ऑप्शन था ये राइट, दैट वाज राइट, कि पंक्ति झंझा पंक्ति के साथ आंधी तूफान रिलेटेड है और आंधी तूफान के साथ टोर्नेडो रिलेटेड है, तो ये भी करेक्ट है। तो इसीलिए सो यू मस्ट नो दैट this on weather map, this is the symbol for cold front, this is the symbol for warm front, and you must also know that what is a squall line. You must know that squall line is related to what? It is related to thunderstorm. It is related to what? It is related to tornadoes. So these things you must know. So this is it for today. We will try to meet again if possible in some next class. So if there is any question, you can ask me, or if you want to repeat any slides, you can ask me. If you want to me to repeat any slides, or if there is any question, you can ask me. Any question? if there is no question, then I would like to end this